Bills.
Hey, real quick, we'll keep you on. We'll bring it on for a quick second before we go to break. Hey, guys, let's bring on our next guest. He can sit with us before the break and then after break. He's DDP himself, Phil Toshin. Phil, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Yo, my boys. Talk about grown man Christmas celebrations.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I was like, you could not have been more on point with that shit, dude.
Right.
You could not have been more on point with grown man Christmas.
Oh man, the amount of energy and just the fans of our network and going live and just the amazing thing. You know, you guys are a big part of us, like brothers. We don't just talk about it, we be about it. And just to see everything transpire and how the Bears did it. In fact, the night before, our guy Cars took the reins and did the exact same move, except he went up to 8 and traded back and got him. And the reality is, guys, the Bears have a quarterback. I'm listening to my idol son with you guys. I wanted to just get on and say hello to him because I've never ever had that moment. I've never done it. You gotta hook him up to get on the show. Keeping it 100 with Jarrett. That would be great. But the reality
I knew it. I knew we should have did it. I knew
it. The reality is, I'm so excited. I was thinking about both of you in that moment. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just, obviously, Kenneth knows how I had my board ranked. But quarterback, Sean, we've been doing this for 5 months, talking about this, the collaboration and what are they going to get it right and all of that. Just, it was the best day of my life since my sons were born. That's the reality of my truth there, because I feel like we got a guy that is that presence, Kenneth, that goes onto the football field and everybody and their brother, all of the racial bias, all of that was washed off in 1 freaking minute. And that reality of the Chicago Bears taking that alpha that's going to give you a chance to win every time just transpired there. Forget all of the negative naysayers. Just like Jarrett was saying, he took it right out of my head too. We gave up too much. We did you don't win without a quarterback. So you give up what you got to do to get who I had him number 3 ranked quarterback in this entire draft. It was special. It was electric. And Ryan Pace changed the conversation about him.
Yeah, he did.
Say, Sean, you and I, all 3 of us are hard, and we should be. You hold these guys accountable.
Right.
But as a human being, what do? Where do you learn your most lessons? From your mistakes.
Yep.
You made one with Watson. You replaced it with Justin Fields. And honestly, the cherry on top is Justin Fields. Just his presence in that interview alone, it felt so good. As Tony feels good. Yeah. I'm super excited. I'm so glad you brought me on early, because the wishbone offense right now with the 3 of us is I just can't. And both of you are coming on the show tonight.
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing to see how they build off of this momentum.
Right.
Again, you still have moves you got to make, and I love a lot of the guys on the board. There's a lot of talent in this draft. I watch every draft pick since I was in 3rd grade, thanks to my mom let me play hooky. So it is my Christmas, and I honestly, Mac Jones or Fields was all I wanted, and I was settling, like Jarrett said, if they better get an offensive tackle if they stay home and not a corner. And they went up and got Justin Fields, and I can't be happier. I know I can't shut up because I'm so happy.
Hey, we got to take a quick break, but I just want to get all 3 of us on, because I know we're all gonna be on your show a little later tonight. But hey, Ken, thanks, Papa. We'll see you on Monday.
Kenneth,
See you tonight, guys.
Actually, no, we'll see you tonight. So
Yeah,
we'll see you
we'll
tonight.
see
see
you.
you tonight.
We'll
See
be in
you tonight,
another
you
back.
guys.
We'll be in
Get
his
some
backfield.
sleep, Kenneth. You look like you're exhausted after
I
carrying.
am. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Tired.
All
All right,
I'm
man.
tired too.
Guys, we got to take a quick break. And then the other side of the break, Phil's going to join me. You can stay with me, and we're going to talk more Bears football. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
This is a founding franchise. Justin Fields.
Shit goes downhill. You would think guys would fucking pick up their game. And
They're not going to have a $39 million cap hit for a guy who's not there. Welcome back to Sean and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That's the official introduction for our next guest. You know, he's on here every Friday at 11 o'clock. My man, the myth, the legend, DDP himself, the draft doctor, Phil Atosha. Man, what's up, buddy? I know you're fired up like I'm fired to freak up, dude. Man.
I'm so fired up. You talk about a course correction. This hasn't been course corrected like this since Gilligan's Island. They got off the island. You know what I'm saying?
So get off the island.
that intro never gets old. I'll tell you that. I love it. I love it. I love coming on here. Listen, this team has put us in these positions where we're just exhausted. And last night was electric. It really was. It was that moment. Friend of our network, Adam Kaplan, David Kaplan rather, was on the radio this morning. He said it too. You haven't felt like this since the Bears won the Super Bowl. It's that big of a moment because you recognize the. I know Jarrett was looking for the word, but when you watch tape, and Sean, you know, a personality jumps off as a football player. That's what it is. The confidence just reeks off of this kid. Now, if you go back, great series. If you want to see more about the new Bears quarterback, Netflix does QB1, and it goes back to his story in high school, and you just see the kid's story and his personality, and it really shows that this kid has carried that same kind of stigma that's a lot of these high school quarterbacks, 5-star recruit, best quarterback in the country. And then you see when they get into college, that kind of falls off. I know Cars had brought up Ron Powlus. Remember him?
Notre Dame.
Jimmy Clausen, another Notre Damer. And they go into college and they can't carry that baton. Here's a kid that was 1A to Trevor Lawrence all throughout his career, and really made the ultimate choice to go up north and play at Ohio State and leave Georgia. And it ultimately was the best decision because, let's be honest, he was a much better quarterback than what Georgia was playing at the time. And I think that shows a measure of character for this kid. And the Bears, there is no luck basically in this. It's all luck, you know? So it's not like the Bears got lucky or the Bears paid too much or any of that narrative. The Bears, give them credit. They went up, they practiced what they preached about conviction, and they got this guy, Sean, that obviously is an Adonis when it comes to the quarterback position. His presence alone just jumps off the tape. And I think the team, I don't know if you saw Eddie Jackson's comments. I know a lot of people are either pro or negative or anti Eddie Jackson, but it just takes you a little bit behind the curtain when he's talking about we finally have a quarterback. That was taking some shots at Trubisky and Glennon and the quarterbacks he's had to deal with, and Foles as he's been a Chicago Bear. The excitement that this kid brings to the locker room, the team, as a known talent is phenomenal. It is. It really is.
You know, this is not a day that we have often here regarding in Chicago regarding our Bears, and this is one to definitely celebrate. It's not over. You know, the first day, the first part 1 of 3 of the draft is done, and A+. And as I said, and I'll continue to say it, if I'm going to give Matt Nagy, or if I'm going to give Ryan Pace shit for all the mistakes that he makes,
exactly,
I'm definitely I have to be the first in line and say, hey, congratulations. That was a hell of a haul, hell of a pick that you did, hell of a move that you to get to that point. And you know, hats off to you, Ryan Pace. That was awesome. You restored my faith in you for the time being. You restored the faith of Bear Nation in you. And you saw what we wanted, what we've been begging for, and you went and you got it. You made it happen. You went and you got it. And I wasn't concerned that he would, but was he going to get the right guy? You know, because Mac Jones was there with him. You know, they were both available, and we saw what happened. You know, in 2017, he had all 3 available. He had Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and Mitch Trubisky at his disposal. Which one? You had a 67% chance of getting a great quarterback, and you got the wrong one. So, you know, that was, you know, I was waiting. It seemed like the Bears select, you know, when the guy's like my Chicago Bears select, and that's how we felt. It couldn't have been more apropos. That's how we felt, because that's how the city is. And when he said the Bears select, that seemed like an hour from when he said the Bears select to who he started to mention. And because I remember watching, I was like,
right,
just waiting. It seemed like forever. Justin Fields, like, oh no! Oh man, I was happy. So
I was we were live on the air covering. So Matt Carson, Bears nerd, goes live. We have a trade. The Bears have, and you see his face go white. And I'm like, we do? Oh, now I know we either have Mac Jones or Justin Fields. Some announcer, and Shane goes crazy. Again, it'll be in the open of the show tonight. It's so hysterical. Some announcer on ESPN, they might be going up for an offensive tackle. And we're all like, if they do that, I'm freaking done. I'm leaving. I go, I'll shut off the show. It's either, again, I just always keep it 100. Mac Jones 1A. I had Justin Fields 1B. But the reality is it's apples or oranges, depending on what you want that day. In my mind, both of them would have fit what it is you're trying to do. But Justin Fields is going. I'm getting a lot of anger from Bears fans. Some of them, you know, you see the negativity. They gave up too much. This kid's Ohio State quarterbacks don't work out. He's going to be a receiver in 2 years. You mark my word. I'm seeing all this negative. In Connecticut, we got the national ESPN radio. So I was listening to that as I was driving, and Bob was choosing. It's just writing a false narrative, and it's such extreme bias towards this team. They don't follow it. They don't understand it, because he's sitting there saying, well, the Giants made out great in this trade because next year they're going to have a top 5 pick because the Bears are going to be awful. And I just don't know how you say that in spring after they've just recourse corrected and got their franchise signal caller. That's just such a poor, awful, lazy take, and it gets me so fired up because there's a hell of a lot more that is going to happen then. And let me say this, Sean, Andy Dalton is the perfect showcase for this kid, how you become a professional, how you attack the film. And he's not going to be one of those guys like Jim McMahon was or like Brett Favre was to Aaron Rodgers that's going to turn a cold shoulder to his teammate. He's going to open up and understand and tutel it, give some tutelage to this young caller. And that's what you really set up here. So Pace and Nagy deserve a lot of credit because Mitch Trubisky versus Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was a huge upgrade to that. Solid quarterback. I broke him down. Here you got this young guy and you afford him the opportunity to do what Mahomes did and sit behind Alex Smith there in Kansas City. There's no rush here because I really believe Andy Dalton is going to be a solid quarterback for a team that needed solid quarterback play and didn't get it. Now, obviously, the worry is Coach Nagy. You and I are going to worry about it. We're all going to worry about it. But again, you can't paint with no colors. You can't do it. So you got to give your coach, the quarterback. You got to hope DiFilippo and Laser are a part of Matt Nagy's plan moving forward, and everybody's in unison together to get this quarterback prepared. That's all you can do now because you can't go say, oh, we need to paint our house, but you never buy the paints. That's not how that's why you went up and got Justin Fields, because you bought the paints. Now allow the painters to do their job. That's where we want to see, because the marriage between Nagy and Mitch Trubisky was an arranged one. And thus that's giving that door to be open to say, okay, now we're going to see the real Matt Nagy. Because in all fairness to him, you know how I feel about him. I know how you feel about him. Everybody that's a fan of me knows that I've broken him down. But the reality is I have to give this guy the opportunity because of the arranged marriage and because of the fact that I know for a fact that he had Patrick Mahomes ranked as a generational talent when he was with the Chiefs. So if he's fighting and flying up to get Justin Fields, he has that same inclination. Now we get to see how they play this out.
Yeah, so let's check it out. What do you give me your thoughts on it? You know, do you want it to be, or how soon do you want him to play? All right, do you want him to sit down? Because, you know, give me your take, and I'll tell you what my thoughts on his playing time this year would be in a perfect world.
Well, in a perfect world, that's what I said. Andy Dalton goes out there. He's going to lead the football team, and you're going to have this young quarterback slinging it, getting ready, and competing for that job. That should always be the presence of mind. I'm always going to remind Andy Dalton to be a great teammate, be a leader here in this locker room that needs offensive leaders. The reality is the perfect world scenario, you don't rush a young quarterback into playing. A lot of people are going to say, well, you traded up, you traded all this. Well, the original plan, if you look back, was Mitch Trubisky sit and learn behind Mike Glennon. Oh, by the way, the GOAT sat behind Drew Bledsoe. The MVP last year sat behind Brett Favre for 4 years. So although the world is rushing in a social media fantasy football world, rushing players on, they forget Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year. That's the perfect plan. That's what it should be, in my opinion. You shouldn't rush this kid because, again, your concerns with Matt Nagy situationally come into play. Let him learn what Justin Fields feels comfortable with. Let him learn what Justin Fields is growing in and allow him to learn behind a solid bridge quarterback in Andy Dalton. I think that's the perfect case because it's like playing golf. You don't need the driver when you're 20 feet from the hole. Just use the pitch wedge, for now and let the driver come when it's needed. And that's really where we're at here, in my opinion.
Listen, so my thought is this. I say get him playing right away, but a series or two in each half. Okay.
Yeah,
give me the second quarter or first quarter, first or second quarter and then he has another series in the second half just to get your feet wet, just to get you acclimated to the speed. And the perfect world, it would be a situation like Russell Wilson, where Russell Wilson came and just outplayed Matt Flynn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But if not, then I like you, am more than happy. Give him that one or two series and a half.
I like this.
And then next year he'll have a much better grasp because he's dealt with the speed. He's dealt with various opponents, so it wasn't just one game that he got. And you're going to place the Lions twice, the Packers twice, the Vikings twice. So you're going to get a good taste of your division, and then you're going to get a good taste of all other teams in the league because there's some other teams that are stronger at certain positions that we might not face in our division foes twice, who we face twice a year. So give him time, and so he knows, and say, hey, listen, at the third series of every half, you're going in. I don't care what happens. If it's a sudden change and then we get on a turnover, if they score, whatever the situation is, third series of every half, whatever you didn't want to do and make up, that's it. So now he knows mentally because now we're back in the psyche of it. So the third time, so in the second drive, you're like, all right, cool. And say, hey, listen, you're going in. If it's 3 and out, then you're done for this half till the next half. If it's a 15-play freaking drive that you go, then you're in all 15 freaking plays and you're making, and that now he knows. And psychologically, he knows, okay, I'm in for one series. All right, let me try some things. Let me do my best. And it makes it easier because we talked about, when we talk about the Blackhawks, we talk about the Bulls. The thing that people need to know, and with my White Sox now, give everybody a role. Okay. When you give teammates or team members a role, okay, now they know exactly what you want them to do. You're not going to ask an offensive lineman to break 6 tackles and run 50 yards for a touchdown. That's not his gig. Okay, I need you, big boy. I need you up here knocking the shit out of this guy so the little fast guy can go, okay, no problem, coach. I got it.
Yep.
Give him a role. Every third series, whatever series they designate of the half, give it to him. And now he can embrace it. He can be relaxed. He's not worried about when am I going in? Am I going in? What if we're losing? What if we're down after first? It doesn't matter. You're down. The other team scores two touchdowns the first 2 drives. Guess what? It's the third drive. Your third drive, you're still going in. Make it easy for him, okay, to get acclimated to the system, and his talent will take over. His talent will definitely take over. Who do you like for offensive lineman? There's right now, because there's a couple names I know that you had on your list earlier when you were talking about them. Here's some of the names that are still available for the Bears in the second round.
Well, Tevin Jenkins is my number 1 tackle. I think he could play left tackle. He reminds me a lot of Trent Williams with that size and that tenacity that he brings to the table. There is not a more physical football player on the offensive line in the entire draft, in my opinion, including Sewell, than Tevin Jenkins. If there was an opportunity, I know people hate giving away, but if you get somebody like Tevin Jenkins, all of a sudden the identity of your offensive line, that toughness, you get an Olin Kreutz type of football playing personality on that offensive line that is so amiss of that. There's talent interior on the offensive line, but there's no offensive tackle, presence like a Jimbo Covert was, that he's coming to work and it's going to be a fight. And he ain't
in a bad freaking mood.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have that. We got Charlie soft as puppy shit Leno out there, and I like Affetti. I thought they moved him into guard. I thought he was going to be a better guard, but he proved to be a better right tackle, more athletic.
Yes.
He played there well. So now he moves. He comes back. They tripled his salary, so he's going to be on the right side. I think it's imperative. Obviously, you've been on the Patron show with me and my dad, breaking down these tackles, breaking down Charles Leno and why it's so important to be there. Again, Leno's talking about Chipotle last night with the freaking rookie. I'm telling, go out and eat some dumbbells, will you?
Yeah.
Stop worrying about that. But anyway, Redunds to me probably is the most solid of all of that in regards to his chip on his shoulder, smaller school, obviously in the FCS at North Dakota State, but he has, Sean, in the perfect world, that's a left tackle that's going to come out here with those techniques and fundamentals down. If you get somebody like Redunds or Jenkins, these guys I have first round grades on that have fallen out of the first round. Then you got Jalen Mayfield that I love. He played right tackle. I know I heard that he was going to drop down maybe because of immaturity. He is a 20-year-old football player, and the sky's the limit with that kid. He's got great feet. Redunds has great feet. Eichenberg, obviously, our
Notre
colleague,
Dame guy.
yeah, Berlissimo loves that kid. Solid fundamentals. Not the athlete that those other two guys are, but he is a technician, and he also brings that. All three of those guys, including Mayfield, bring the personality that jumps off on the tape that is going to go out there and get their presence known on the football field. They're not going to take any shit. The last guy, though, is not on the list here that I really like. Obviously, Landon Dickinson at center. That would be a great pickup, great football player. I have Creed Humphrey over him. He hasn't gone yet either, from Oklahoma, the center there, who I think is the best center in this draft. But I think tackle is the real biggest need here. And there's one other guy, Spencer Brown from Northern Iowa, 6'9". This kid's body transformation from when he was a freshman to when he is a senior is unbelievable. But the other thing about it is he played in that same FCS as Redunds. He's 6'9", but he does, on tape, there was some issues standing up, getting a little too high. But then when he went down to the Senior Bowl and was playing against all those prospects, not only did he stand out, he was dominant. So that just shows me getting proper coaching and teaching down at the Senior Bowl in 1 week's time, this dude looked like an all-star left tackle. If you can get somebody that believes in that, Juan Castillo getting that big tackle, oh my God, you're cooking with gas. I really believe. Look at all those names on the board. Obviously, Walker Little, too, is on there. But I have those guys really, really high in regards to how you could build this offensive line. And again, course correct there. Bring competition in for Leno. If they ever do this, Sean, this will be a home run draft. If they trade up and get a Tevin Jenkins and say, hey, we just need that left tackle, and they put the pressure on and what we've asked them to do, hold Leno accountable. Don't look at cap. Don't look at the cap. Look at the football. Put that first, and put a competition out there to play the best 5 offensive linemen. And you get somebody like that in there, you've hit a home run. I'm done for the draft because you did it. Obviously, this draft is so deep at wide receiver. You're sitting pretty there. The cornerback, I get it. You know, that's a need too, but I really think you build around this young prospect based on giving away that first round pick this next year. So build around him now.
Hey, yes. Phil, so talk to me about moving up. Okay. We have 4 6th round draft picks.
Yes.
We have some people we can move. We have Anthony Miller, that his name has been on the trading block for a while. You still have Nick Foles, who you can trade. You can swap or send to a team who's got a young quarterback, and he can be a mentor there. Because we're really we're hurting with the cap. We're only $400,000 away from the cap limit. So some people are going to have to go or restructure. Foles going would be a big help. Leno going would be a big help too. But,
oh my God!
You know, what do you think? Do you anticipate another Ryan Pace trade? You know, packaging a 1 or 2 6th or a 6th in Anthony Miller, or a 6th in a Nick Foles to move up and get a little better draft position.
I'll tell you what, I would love that. He trade both of those players out of here. Anthony Miller, maybe you attach him into it because he's a name. He does have talent.
Mm-hmm.
That you get back up there and get one of those tackles, I would be all in on that. But again, it is imperative that I believe you get that offensive tackle, and this is falling so perfectly for the Bears because of those guys. I think there's going to be a big run now on offensive tackles to start off tonight's coverage. I think the Jets are going to go offensive tackle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the reality of that, of getting these guys in a position to get one of those offensive tackles is going to be interesting to me. Or do they say corner? You know, are they going to get a guy that I absolutely love at corner is Asante Samuel Jr.? Is he going to be somebody they want to move up for? I mean, those are the two guys. I think this is deep in wide receiver. Offensive tackle, cornerback are two needs, and Ryan Pace and company and every GM are always best player available at a need. And that's what they do all the time. You know, that's how it is. So again, you got to play the game. I'm down 100%, Sean, to move on from Anthony Miller and Nick Foles. If they could do that, that would be tremendous tonight. It would be a home run, home run draft.
That would be great. Even if they said you package 2 sixths and Anthony Miller to move up into the 4th, 2 sixths and
even if you give up your second, you give them 2 sixths, right? And Anthony Miller. Now you've secured that tackle. You keep that 3rd round pick. You trade back a little bit, accumulate. This is what I would do. You accumulate a 4th. Now you're looking at corner receiver in the 3rd and 4th round. You hit your offensive tackle. You secured the guy that you identified with Juan Castillo. We need a left tackle. They know it. They went out to try to do what, Sean? They tried to trade for Russell Wilson. They tried to sign Trent Williams. So they're showing you what it is they do. What did they do last night? They traded up to secure their quarterback. Now you got to do the left tackle like you were trying to do in free agency with Trent Williams. They do that. You keep that 3rd round pick. That's the key right here in this maneuver. You trade 2 6th round picks. I don't give a shit. Get up there, get your tackle, trade back in the 3rd. Plenty of depth at corner. For me, plenty of depth at wide receiver. You hit those two and you're golden in regards to this draft. You have immense talent. We'll be covering it all night tonight. And with you, Sean, you're going to be on.
I will be here. I'll be there. I'm fired up.
The tape never lies.
Yeah. What time am I on again? 6:37, something like that.
Yeah, you're on for right out the gate with us. We're
also 7 o'clock.
Yeah. So obviously we do things on the go. You stay as long as you want. Okay. You're on the show with us. We got D'Lo Brown, the wrestler. You know, D'Lo Brown, he's a huge Bears fan. He's going to jump on to begin the show.
No way. Nice.
Rasheed Davis. We're going to have Davis and Davis on again. Rasheed's going to be calling the second round pick.
Yeah.
So he's going to jump on after he makes the call for the Chicago Bears. He's going to be on with us. Obviously, Kenneth Davis early in the night. Hopefully he gets some rest. I'm exhausted too. But I got to I'm going on adrenaline from Justin Fields right now.
Hey, telling you, many of us are, man. Many of us are. It was awesome night. Hey, buddy, I appreciate you coming on again, as always.
Absolutely.
Great stuff. I look forward to us. Yes. I look forward to us tonight, man. It's going to be good. Some more football talk. You can never have football talk. I just had a coaches meeting the other day with the the team that I coached.
Congratulations, man. I'm so excited for you, man.
So here's the deal. So for many of you who don't know, I was coaching at a prep school, but unfortunately they canceled the spring season because the games, some of the normal competition like the CCIW, whatever, any of those teams, a lot of those teams weren't playing spring seasons. They're just waiting for the fall. So we got one game in, and now we have an open house on Sunday. The president of the school, our buddy Marcus Sullivan, he canceled the season. Like which I thought was great. Don't do that to the kids. You know, the insecurity. We have a game. We don't have a game. We think we got a game. you know what, with football, that's the one thing. It's always about the kids, and
Right.
you know what, you give them something solid. Okay, I have 10 games scheduled, 15, 12 game, whatever. These are the games, you know, all contracted and everything. So I have to decide whether I'm going to be coaching there in the fall, because I'm going to. I got tomorrow. I'll be doing some announcing for an indoor football team. A buddy of mine,
really?
another buddy of mine, owns an indoor football team, and you know,
Nice.
I want to start doing some Big Ten games or some MAC games or something like that. So this way, I'll have some tape doing these games. So it's
Awesome, bro.
yeah, dude, that'd be dope. If I could do some Big
Congratulations,
Tens,
man.
that'd
Hell
be
yeah.
dope. That'd be dope.
Oh my
So-
God, that'll be dope as hell.
So it's going to be 84 here tomorrow. So from 11 o'clock in the morning, the game's at 5. So I'll get there about 3, just to make sure I got all the players, their names, get the position, their you know, who's, you know, their all the names in there, the depth chart and everything. Make sure I can pronounce all the names. So from 11 to like 1:30 or 2 o'clock, I'm laying out. It's going to be 80 degrees tomorrow and Sunday, dude. So I'm going to give you a
Wow.
nice little tan tomorrow and Sunday before the open house.
Well,
That'd be good.
I'll be covering the draft all day tomorrow on our network. Won't be able to enjoy the sun. My wife is stepping up. She's taking the boys to. They're playing soccer and flag football this spring, so she's gonna
Okay.
She's taking them to soccer on Saturday. So it's gonna be. Listen, I love this game. I'm so happy that I've met you and that we're together tonight. It's family night and the second, third round coverage at Tape Never Lies Network. Hopefully everybody comes in, tunes in, joins the chat. We'll be bringing some fans on. We got some giveaways. We got a special announcement tonight from our Spencer Strong movement. That's one of our patrons and friends. His son is suffering from a brain tumor and cancer. And hopefully that's why you always see us hashtag Spencer Strong.
Mhm.
Tonight we got a big announcement on that too during the coverage with you there. So it's a big night for the Bears, but it's also a big night for our network and our family, which I consider you and Maya and Ivan and Kenneth Davis, everybody. So it's going to be fun tonight, Sean.
I'm
Tune
looking
in.
forward to it.
We'll be live on all of our social media.
Hey, great stuff, Papa. We'll talk in a few hours.
All right, brother. Have a great
right.
day. Ivan, let me know. Maybe get you on too, Ivan.
Hey, I'm always available, man. Just hit me up, Phil. Love you,
All
bro.
right. All right, bro. I love you.
All right. Love you, man.
Later.
Later. Guys, that was the draft doctor himself, Phil Atoshin.